Well, hello and welcome to Coming At You from Triple M Ravenswood Raceway for this, the running of the WA Castrol Grand Finals. Stewie Bond joins me now, and Stu, an extra feature today. Victor Bray in town with two door slammers. It's going to be a great show.
Really is going to be a fantastic show. Victor, well known around Australia, driving a 57 Chevy, and this is our first chance to see the mighty Ford Custom line on the track, the Castrol Konica car, driven by Alan Dobson. So the West Australians will be waving the flag for a Ford driven by a West Australian. The air is fantastic. It's the best racing conditions we've had all season long. Everyone is racing this afternoon, setting new personal bests, and we expect to see outstanding passes tonight.
Thanks, Stu. Let's go with Supercomp. The Castrol WA Grand Finals, round one of Supercomp, and of course Peter Hamilton out there on the track in the Street Quick Statesman, a beautifully prepared car. His opposition today, Robbie Gaycourse, the 330 Chevy on board the Mazda RX-7.
Frank, the big block versus the small block. Big torque and a lot of weight in the Statesman, and he's racing against a very rapid RX-7. Robbie Gaycourse with the small block will wind it up. Large RPMs off the start line, and watch the front wheels on the car. Big wheel stand launch, and he's got an advantage from the start line. He'll hold this right through the race, and it's a good win in round one for Rob Gaycourse.
Gaycourse gets there with a 9.33 at 241 k's.
This car's becoming very popular with both teams at the moment. The Ford boys and the Chevy boys just love Ian Johns' race car. An XR8 Falcon with a 500 cubic inch Oldsmobile V8. His competition is the Puglia brothers, and Alan Puglia is driving a 330 cube Cleveland powered Falcon.
Pair of Fords side by side. Alan Puglia comes out of the hole real quick indeed. Pretty smooth through the gears. Johnsy's on the chase and comes around the outside. Johnsy picks up the win with an 8.08 at 273 k's.
Rob DeManuel, a Holden Calais, a good strong burnout from the car, and has got the crowd's attention. His competition all the way from Northern, we don't see him on the track often enough, Mike Marriott and the Marriott family Chimera.
Nice to see Michael Marriott back at the track, both cars with wheels up launches. Rob DeManuel out very quick indeed. I think he's got him with a hole shot. Marriott starting to fight back, but DeManuel's going to get there first with an 8.80 at 234 k's.
An unusual pairing, Colin Richardson with the V8 naturally aspirated dragster, and his competition will be a turbocharged six-cylinder Ford Tirana. Errol Quartermain, the driver of the sedan. Quartermain gets to lead first. He's going to need a lot of speed at half track to kick that dragster out. Racing against their national indexes, and the dragster is closer to his national record and gets the win with an 8.26.
Immaculate BP Commodore Stewie Bond was in the pits earlier and caught up with the man himself.
Steve, you're in the lead at the moment, 110 points in front, and it's going to be real tough for anyone to catch up. Had a long season, but the guys have got you there, and you're going to be the new WA champ. How's it feel?
It feels pretty good, Stu. We prepared from the beginning of the season to come out and try and dominate the points and win the championship. And we've we haven't done it yet, but we're hopefully we'll clean it up tonight.
Steve Flynn on a solo pass this time. Probably be looking for a half-track pass to make sure the car is going to work well. A 345 Buick-powered Commodore, the points leader in the Castrol Grand Finals.
He'll be very interested in protecting his handicap, and we watch him past half-pass. The revs drop off as he goes through the top end, and he slows the car down to a 9.35. Expect him to go quicker later tonight.
George Saparovich, a Nissan 300ZX running a 460 big block. Up alongside him, Terry Stacey in the little Rotomotion RX-7.
Well, two ends of a very different stick. Stacey with a turbocharged rotary, a brand new class, a double R gasser, and he currently holds the speed record for that class. Gets to lead the start line first. The A-gasser chasing, a massive Pontiac engine in there. And Saparovich with a very tardy start gives the win to Terry Stacey with a 9.55.
Coming at you after the break, the Castrol Top Door Slammers. For the Castrol WA Grand Finals, let's go with the compulsory qualifier in Top Comp.
Top Comp Eliminator, all our supercharged vehicles in one group, and Murray O'Connor. A big burnout from the car, and the crowd absolutely loved that Falcon.
Oh, the Wood brothers back at the track in the little Tirana, certainly looking good. A fairly mild burnout, but a lot of smoke coming out of the cockpit. These two cars will be very keen to lay down a good qualifying time this round.
I think both these drivers perform their burnouts on the until I can see principle. They'll head down the track, spinning the back wheels until they can't see out of the car, and that's the time to get off the noise.
Both vehicles locked away. We're ready to go racing. The Wood brothers come out hard and fast. Murray O'Connor's on the chase. He's going to have to do it from behind, and he's coming around the outside. It's going to be a good pass by Murray in 8:02 at 297k.
Well, Barry Wood, very, very loose at the top end of the track, drifts across into O'Connor's lane. Two very tough burnouts. Two supercharged cars, both small block Chevys, but a dragster and an altered. You can see by the distance they went down the track under power during the burnout that both cars react very, very differently to the application of power to the back wheels. The Auto 1 girls helping Phil Jakovich back onto the start line. The crew are happy with the car. His competition is Trevor Morrison, and this is going to be a very close race.
Both vehicles set to go. The 3 counts down. They come out on a pair of clean greens. Morrison got the better of Jakovich at the start. It's going to be an interesting pass by both vehicles. And Morrison gets there with a 7:49 at 245k.
Very, very wild burnout from Roy Scott, and alongside him, Clive Hudson all the way down the track. A pair of big block Chevy Double B funny cars.
Well, Hudson backing up very, very slow. I think there's a problem with that car, Stu. It looks like he's stopping. And yes, the crew have signalled that Clive Hudson not going anywhere. We've got a solo run for Roy Scott in the Corvette.
Scott with a very shaky start. Some improvements can be made then. He'll be trying to improve on a 7.9 second personal best. And it's another 790, and he qualifies in the position he was before that pass.
Greg Burns back at the track in the Oldsmobile Forenza with a big, strong burnout. His opposition, John Zapp here, and listen to the noise. It's certainly sounding very strong indeed.
The crowd loves both these cars, a top alcohol funny car and a double B funny car. Greg Byrne is the national record holder for his class, and John Zappia, this is his first season in top alcohol, and he is fighting hard to make sure people never forget that John Zappia was one of the biggest burnout performers in Australia.
Both these cars going to leave hard. They're locked away. The tree counts down. Oh, Burnsy with the wheels up launch. He comes out near the railing. Zappia's gone around the outside. Oh, Greg Burns, what a pass. Really had to fight for that car. Zapp's gone through with a 644, but Stu in slow motion. How close was Burnsy to the wall?
Well, Burnsy was pretty happy with the car leaving on the back wheels. He's got lots of traction, and then the car unloaded itself as the front wheels came down, threw him towards the centre line, and he had to pedal out, got back on the noise, and still ran a 6.8.
John Zappia right out near the fence also, looking down at the track. The Castrol Konica cars are back on the track. Alan Dobson and Victor Bray. We're inside Victor Bray's 57 Chevy.
A great opportunity to see what Victor does in the office. A lot of people wouldn't expect him to be terribly busy during the burnout, but just watch the arms and legs and feel the vibrations as you ride in the Castrol 57 Chev.
Side by side burnouts. Looking through, we could see Alan Dobson's car through the screen of Victor's. Absolutely superb stuff, this drag cam inside Victor Bray's 57 Chev.
Alan Dobson is in an unusual situation. He's been sitting on the left side of a sedan, driving a supercharged Commodore. He's been driving for 5 years now in a funny car, and now he's sitting on the right side of a Ford and is operating all the levers and buttons to shift gears with his left hand.
Out they come, Victor Bray very fast indeed. So too Alan Dobson. Dobbo's coming around the outside, and Dobbo picks up the win. I think we'll have to have a look at that.
That's incredibly close. Incredibly close at the top end. Alan Dobson pushing the custom line 20 kilometres an hour quicker than Victor and just sneaking a win.
Back to the Castrol WA Grand Finals, top comp shootout round, and Murray O'Connor on screen. As always, Murray never disappoints with a big, strong burnout from the XM Falcon.
Well, the crowd are really getting behind the races right now. They know there's lots of horsepower on the track. The air is incredible. About 400 feet below sea level is a corrected air reading. Lots of oxygen available, and all these guys are making more horsepower than they have all season long. O'Connor with some new sponsorship on the car. Sid Chrome getting behind him for this event, and hopefully that'll become something permanent for the Stone Ridge Stonemasons XM Falcon.
Both vehicles locked away. Murray O'Connor comes out, gets a little bit sideways, but it's got a hole shot on Phil Jakovich. He's going to get there first, and Murray gets there with a 796 at 293
k's. 730 for Jakovich, a brilliant way to finish the season. Big burnout from Barry Wood, and right alongside him, didn't let him get away, was Roy Scott in his Double B funny car. Barry Wood with a 330 cubic inch small block Chevy spins it harder than just about anyone at the track.
Well, the Wood brothers not with their familiar wheels up launch that time, but still gets out of the hole very quick indeed. Roy Scott trying to fight back, but I don't think he's got an answer for the Tirana. Barry Wood gets there with an 8.52. Roy Scott a 7.66.
Well, Greg Berners had no problems at all sticking his car to the track. Lots of traction for this one, and another wheels up launch for the car. Carries it through first and second gear, drifts towards the centre line, and it's a good solo win for Greg with a 7.29.
John Zapp coming out in the Southside Engine Centre car. Once again, a big, strong burnout from John Zapp.
Clive Hudson with his big block Chevy-powered Dobbo V funny car. They had a problem in the last round of qualifying, the compulsory qualifying round. Yes, they're in there checking the car again. They weren't very happy with it before they brought it out to perform the burnout. And it looks like Hudson has been given the signal to shut the car down.
Well, a lot of hand waving from inside the cockpit there, and Clive will not be happy. John Zappia, meanwhile, comes out on that cleanest of greens, runs out very, very wide again, and gets there with a 6.60 at 347 k's.
They're turning over the engine on the Castrol Konica custom line. The starter motor comes off, and Alan Dobson is running. This is round 2 of the top door slammers. Dobbo into the burnout, Victor Bray following, and Victor comes a long way from Queensland to race at Ravenswood, and we found out why.
Drag strips are always very much associated with the amount of racing on them. Ravenswood has an excellent surface, but the feature of Ravenswood is actually the air conditions that we get over here at this time of the year. That's what we're doing here this year. The air conditions at Ravenswood are the best in the whole of Australia. Track conditions are good enough to see some really fast racing.
Side-by-side door slammer action, courtesy of Castrol. Alan Dobson from V8 motorcycles to alcohol funny cars to nitro funny cars, and now in the door slammer. Let's see what he thinks.
I don't think I'll have any troubles adapting. 5 years ago, we used to race a blow-on door slammer. It was a Commodore, the supercharged small block. Victor also ran a 57, which was a similar class, and we were rivalry back then on different sides of the country. They were running in the same class. And I first met Victor. He said he was throwing darts at a poster of mine for about 12 months prior to meeting him. So this is now our opportunity to really get on the same racetrack, race the same class, and be side by side and see if we can go from being team partners into actual competitors. So I'm looking forward to this big time.
Well, Stewie Bond, where drag racing was born, Ford versus Chevy.
And the Ford's doing really well, currently 1-0. The hired shoe, one race ahead of the boss, and Victor's not too happy about that. Expect him to go all out in this round.
Well, both vehicles locked away. The tree counts down.
Dobbs very, very loose off the start line, slammed the clutch, turned the tyres, and has given the race away. Victor will chase a 6 and just misses it with a 7.01 at 271 kilometres an hour. Well, watch Dobson's car at the start line. It turns the tyres as he releases the clutch, and the car is a big handful. Dobson's experience tells him to get off the noise and let the car settle.
Victor Bray getting a little bit loose at 2/3 strip distance as well, but still ran through with a good tie. Coming at you after the break.
Frank, earlier today, Adrian Tully's Gemini gave him a ride he will not forget for a long time. Keep your eyes on the left rear wheel. Oops, I'm out of there. Adrian with a problem that we haven't seen at the track for many, many years, a broken axle in the burnout. This gives Adrian Tully and his team something to do over the winter when they would normally just be kicking back.
Super Street final now, Richard Keller and Ken Johnson side by side. A pair of Fords about to do it here at Triple M Ravenswood Raceway.
What a great way to finish the season off. The XD Falcon locked in a big, big burnout, and Ken Johnson pleases the crowd for one last time.
Ken Johnson certainly had a great season into the finals this time round here at the Castrol WA Grand Finals. They both come out on clean greens. Richard Keller out very quick indeed, but Johnson starts to come around the outside. Not enough. Keller picks up the win.
Modified bike final, Gavin Carlini and Paul Newhoff. Newhoff with a big weight, an 8-second bike racing a 10-second bike. Their handicaps will bring them side by side at the top end, and Newhoff takes the lose. Carlini gets the win.
Colin Mortimer with a big, strong burnout. This is the Super Sedan final.
The little Capri with a 400 Chevy small block. Alongside him, Perry Maxwell driving Wayne Keys Super Gasser, and Maxwell gets the win. A good season for him.
Modified final now, and it's been top racing all day in modified.
Really tough racing for these guys. Into the final now, Darryl Hawley.
And Peter Townsend side by side. Hawley's going to get there first, but Pete Townsend picks up the win. Hawley's gone too quick.
Well, a breakout lose for him. This is the competition bike final. Mark Origo in the near lane. Todd Barker in the far lane. Barker with a handicap, not having wheelie bars, but still gets the win with a 9-second pass on his Kawasaki.
Castrol finals in Super Cop. Ian Johns with a big, strong burnout.
Stevie Flynn's alongside him. Ford versus Holden. The Commodore versus the Falcon. The crowd are polarised, and right now the Ford's actually pulling more fans because it has the 500 cubic inch Oldsmobile.
Both vehicles locked away. Flynn comes out on the clean green. Johnsie's on the chase, flips the wheels at the start. Can Johnsy get around the outside? Flynn's on a good number. I think Flynn will get there. He does with an 891. It's 247k.
Ian Johns finishes the season with another 8.0.
Castrol Top Comp finals now. Greg Burns with a big, strong burnout. Stewie's driving the car all the way through.
Well, it stopped turning the tyres pretty early, but the RPM didn't drop down. I think he might have a bit of a problem with the supercharger. Here's his competition, Barry Wood. Oh, a big explosion for Barry. The engine has gone away. Barry Wood throwing engine parts on the ground, and he will not be happy.
Oh, underneath the car, we can see it all. A very, very expensive blow-up.
Unbelievable. Pistons, crank, the back of the flywheel, everything's come out of the engine, and he is not going to be a happy camper. What a way to finish the season for the Wood team. The Wood brothers will work over the winter to put a new small block together for the Toronto, and we look forward to seeing them back again next year. Greg Byrne on a solo, Frank. He just needs to drive it to the end of the track.
Well, Burnsy's got the car locked away, drives it out hard. Big wheels up launch. The car gets a little bit loose. And out near the fence. And whammo! He's whacked the concrete. Still drives the car through. Burnsy with a 744.
An unbelievable pass from Greg Byrne. A huge wheel stand, and as the car slams the track, their back wheels unload. And it's a handful. Murray O'Connor now racing in Greg Byrne's lane. This is lane 1 at the track. Lane 2 has been found to be unusable, so we'll run the finals back to back. Murray will race against his national index. We'll see how fast he goes on that pass, and then John Zappia will have a chance to improve. The fastest pass gets the win. Murray O'Connor. A lot of pressure on him racing this solo final. Takes it easy off the start line and just wants to point the XM straight. At three-quarter track, it looks good, Frank.
Drives it out very hard indeed. Stu gets a little bit out near the centre line, but still rolls it through with a good time.
Well, his 8.13 means John Zappia needs to run a 6.76 or faster to get the win here. A lot of pressure. This is how drag racing was many, many years ago. It was a series of sprint races before they decided to put them side by side, and it's an interesting situation. Zappia out hard and fast. He's got the car going well. He's over the centre line. John Zappia over the centre line and slaps the wall at the fast end of the track in a slope to a 7.9 and takes the lose.
Oh, John Zappia really loose off the line, out near the centre line. Probably came across a little bit of oil there in that far lane when he crossed the centre line. And watch this whammo into the fence. The header pipes flattened up against the concrete rail. A wild ride for John Zappia. Victor Bray out on the track now.
Well, Victor also shaking the car hard at half-track. We had about half an hour of downtime while we got Barry Wood's car off the track and cleaned the raceway as best we could. And I think that time has allowed the racing surface to cool off. There may be a bit of dew on the track, and it's really unsettling the cars when they shift second and third gear. We saw it was John Zappia. Will we see it now with Victor Bray?
A very cool night here. A lot of frost on the blower there. Victor drives it out hard and fast. He also gets out near the centre line. A great pass, straightens it up and goes through with a 7.47 at 2.56k.
Well, speaking of pressure, the pressure now on the West Australian racer. Here's Alan Dobson.
Dobbo in the 56 custom line. A good, strong burn out the Western Australian crowd right behind the local boy.
Well, Dobson needs to go quicker than a 7.47 to get the win. Can he get the custom line down the track faster than the Boss's 57 Chev?
These Castrol Konica cars turned out in magnificent form.
The team have really worked well all weekend. The crowd in the pits around these two race cars watching the teams with the engines in pieces on the ground, putting them back together again, a really professional show. And I did hear at one stage someone said there was a bigger crowd in the pits than they saw at the pavilions at the Royal Show this year.
Well, Dobbo's all set to go in the custom line. Comes out on a clean green. The car gets a little bit loose. He comes off the power. You see the butterfly shut. Now he gets on it. He's going for a mile an hour. I think he's blown the time. He's gone through with an 8-second flat at 328k.
Great try by Dobbo. Really